Hello everybody, and welcome back to Everything Wrong with Half-Life Part 2, continuing at the power-up levels. Okay, so here we come across this big bad alien. I forgot his name offhand, but even with my HEV suit, I'm guessing the odds of me surviving this in real life in a suit are impossible. Look at this guy. He does look like somebody that I could stand. So I call utter nonsense on this one. Okay, so now we come across more of the annoying rail system. And might I just add that it's hard enough to have to control this cart with this one little gear shift, but then you also have to hit this thing as you move along to change which direction you're going. Well, they're assuming you have a gun to even shoot it. What if you're going this way and do you just can you hand slap it? Yeah, I guess if you have a crowbar and you're flying by, you could just hit it. But whoever designed this, it's nonsense. Just put something on there that lets you shift the tracks from the cart. It'd be so much easier. Okay, and now after fighting your way through more endless stuff with that little train, you come to this little room. I don't even know what this room is for. The security guard is in this room with just a desk, not even a chair. Can't be comfortable. Does he just stand here all day and just stare at these alien papers that are made by giants along with some boxes? What is the point of this room? Who would want to be down here? How did he even get down here? There's not even food or drinks. I don't see any vending machines. Oh, okay. Well, I was mistaken. There is at least a drink. But I guess he starves. So, again, this room is total nonsense. Okay, so now eventually you take this tram all the way to here. And the tram ends at a rocket. With this little office with no chair and this scientist aliens writing scribbles on this board. So does that mean this whole tram system was set up just to get to this rocket? What would be the purpose? You can't even get on this rocket. So why? Wouldn't it have been simpler just to have an elevator come down this many levels instead of going through this whole maze? Ugh, nonsense. And now we come across this room where you have to take your tram through this while cargo's going by. Who designed this? This just seems like a death trap waiting to happen. Poor layout on Black Mesa's end of things. Okay, so now we come across the room where you launch the rocket. And this is pretty cool. The little computer room looks nice in the back. But let's look at what happens when you actually launch this. The doors close and the rocket comes through the door. How is that even possible? Shouldn't that rocket just exploded and blown up this whole base? This is awful design. Look at this. And on top of that, there's not really any fire coming out of this. I mean, you could consider that fire, and then the rocket just disappears. What in the world is going on here? This place makes no sense at all. This is just an awful design. Definitely these are all aliens or robots. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, further in the game, we come across this room. This is the famous room. You face off with the burping, whatever this alien creature is. Sounds like he has a lot of burping issues. Or he's gassy. Whatever, I'm not going to judge him. We all have our stomach issues. But my biggest problem is, why is there this crossbow in the cage? And why are you expected to jump into the cage to get it? Wouldn't the crossbow be, shouldn't it be placed somewhere else, like over here maybe? You have to jump in the cage just for the cage to fall in the water for you to defeat the burpy/gassy fishy creature. And you're assuming the fish creature attacks you. Maybe he's just trying to come after you to tell you, hey, do you got some Gaviscon? My stomach really bugging me. I don't know. We're just assuming he's out to get you. Still, this is an awful layout for this. Have that crossbow sitting in there instead of somewhere else. Not to mention, how did that cage even get there? And what was here before this that you needed a crossbow in a cage? Again, that makes no sense. And when you go upstairs, you run across this scientist, which, let's remember how we came in. When we came in, there's water flooding this area. So how did this guy even get here? Did he teleport here? More proof that these guys are aliens or robots or something, because he somehow managed to get through the water. Even through this door, there's just more water. How? How did the scientist guy even get here? Has he been waiting here for years, maybe? Or did he get trapped down here? It still doesn't explain how he got through the water. It makes no sense. Okay, so I have this paused here because when you get further in, you come across a piston. These little pistons you have to jump across and you see G-Man walking away. But you ever watched what happens to G-Man if you were to get here before he totally walks away? What? He just teleported and disappeared. Again, I know he's some kind of, I don't know if he's a deity, but we know he's multi-dimensional, right? So does he just appear in random places just to taunt you and then magically disappears? I can't say that makes no sense because we know he's some kind of powerful being, but still. That is strange that you would just disappear like that. I don't like it. Now later on, we come across this guy. You may remember him earlier from when I pointed out I think he had a stroke. He still talks like this. But I'm glad to see he's still alive. Even if he does require some medical attention for that stroke, at least he's made it this far, so that's a plus. I can't complain about it. Now we come across residue processing, where you have to turn this gear and then go up this silo just to jump in here. But my question is this normally how you enter this facility? I would never think that I'd have to turn some knob out there, quickly get up here, and then fall this down to this, again, man-sized little tunnel, this little vent. Again, these layouts are really weird. It makes no sense. Now, upon entering this room, it says this is hazardous waste. This is where my brain starts to open up and I start to realize something. When you look inside this vat, what does that look like? I mean, sure, there's like radiation there, but these look like alien potatoes, don't they? Like giant scalloped alien potatoes, or skinned, I should say. So that's what I'm thinking they're actually processing here. Potatoes. Radioactive potatoes, but potatoes nonetheless. And I'll have more evidence for this further on. Now we're a little bit further in the plant and we come across these radiation vats. But I'm not quite sure what these things are pumping. Because if you look at them, they fit the container just right. So when they push down, shouldn't all this radiation push out and ooze all over the place? Like, what was even the point of this room then? Just to overflow it with radiation? Like, why? This is a pointless room, and it makes no sense. Now we come across this room, and again, I don't know what's going on here. There's like bones and blood and guts that keep popping out of these vents. And are they supposed to all land on here, then go up this conveyor belt? What normally falls down here? I'm guessing it's still potatoes, though. Originally, it's supposed to be potatoes. Because in this room, again, it says dangerous, hazardous area, but to me, doesn't this just look like potato water? Like if you ever ground up a potato, it kind of turns out into this brown sludge. So I'm definitely thinking there's something to my theory about this is a potato facility. And see, there's even a blender to blend up the potato water. Get all the little chunks finally down into a watery substance, right? Which makes me think this is supposed to be in Arizona, right? But I have a feeling this takes place in Ireland. That would explain why there's so much potato water and alien potatoes. Or maybe an alien version of Ireland. I don't know. Now in this room, we can clearly see they're trying to heat up the water to boil away any contaminants from the alien potatoes. Trying to get rid of the impurities. Again, the potato thing's making more sense as we go along. And here we could see the next step in my process comes down to this room. This is where they obviously mash the potatoes. Look at it. What else would that be for? They mash them here and you get more potato water. So my next question would be, what is all this potato water and potatoes actually for? Is this what feeds the weird alien scientists and security at Black Mesa? Or is there a deeper plot to uncover here? Might I just add that this conveyor belt system isn't all that great, because all the mashed potatoes that end up on this belt, you have this little pit. It's got to be pretty dirty with all the mashed potatoes that I imagine fall off the belt and on that floor. But apparently someone comes in here and cleans it up, because there's even a ladder here. I don't know how they get here to clean the mashed potatoes, but they do. And here we are again with more mashed potato devices. To me, it looks like they're mashing them up against a grate, possibly to make fries. I'm guessing that's what it is. That's a fry grate. Because if you've ever cut up potatoes before, you can send them to a grater and it makes fries. So this is obviously the fry room, which is pretty cool. I like that they're doing multiple things with the alien potatoes. And here we have extra mashers again. This must be for the leftover French fry pieces that don't make it through that grate. This must be where maybe they mash them down to make potato chips? That's my guess. Now we come across this little room with this little door that leads to this edge. And there is a panel here, but I can't even read what that says. Truffling? I don't know. Maybe they have mushrooms here too? They make truffles? But what is the point of this little ledge? Just for someone to stand out here and watch the potato machines? I don't know. Seems like a waste of money to build this ledge for no real reason. Maybe they had some extra money in the budget? I don't know. I only work here as a scientist, supposedly. In here, you could clearly see these are heated machines. So those mashers that were making the chips, this is where they fry them to make them, you know, crispy chips. I'm thinking the chips go in here and they come out this side fried. That's what my theory is. And now we have another set of rollers. And at this point I'm thinking maybe these are for potato pancakes? Depending on where you live, you've probably heard of them. I forgot what the actual name is they use, but you could eat potato pancakes. They're actually pretty good. So that's probably what this room is for. Potato pancakes. That does make me hungry now, though. I'm also beginning to think these signs are just used to scare people away, so they think this is actually some radioactive, dangerous place when it's not. They just don't want you to know about all the potato recipes they're making here. And they're trying to keep it secret. See, Black Mesa's not about technology, it's about potatoes. Alien potatoes. Now you might be saying, Matt, do you have any proof of all this? Well, aside from the alien potatoes I showed you at the beginning, look at this. These are potato stains. They're like yellow-brownish. Sure, there's some blood in there, but maybe that's just from the aliens that came up from the incident. But I think this is where all the excess potato stuff goes. Maybe the skins, or pieces they couldn't do anything with, or maybe just overbaked fries or potatoes. Potato pancakes. And then all those potato byproducts end up in here, where they get radioactively broken down into nothing. So it's kind of like a free disposal of potatoes. So this whole factory makes a lot more sense now. You can let me know in the comments if you think that's what this is about, alien potatoes. But that's my running theory. Now we come across this alien guy in the tube. And you may think, oh man, I wish I could destroy this guy. He's obviously an evil alien. But what if these secret potato recipes came from this guy? What if they have him hostage and they're trying to get all kinds of alien recipes from him? Kind of like if you were to steal the Keebler elves for their cookie recipes. So really, what you should do in this situation is try and free this guy. He should be profiting from his own recipes from his home planet, not the humans at Black Mesa. Might I just say, this PETA would have a fit about. This looks like animal abuse. Frying all these little animals. It's sad, really. But if you did notice, they do seem to explode into potato pieces. So maybe those potatoes, big potato chunks we've seen were actually just larger aliens that were blown up that turned to potatoes afterwards. Could be. Or maybe this machine's a new way to make some kind of other potato product? I don't know. Potatoes, that's all I'm saying. Now we come across this lobby. And I gotta say, this is a pretty barren lobby. What is even the point? Where are we? The Superbus via Scientist? I can't even read what that says. Something to do with DNA, but this is the most unwelcoming lobby I've seen. Aside from the shoulders, of course. Look at this. There's no couches, no chairs, no tables. And when you come to the front desk, assuming there's somebody normally working here, how do they check you in? There's no computer, no telephone, no monitors. Does the staff just sit at this desk for like 8 to 12 hour shifts and just stand here? This is a nice looking lobby, so to speak, but this is just so unwelcoming and boring and confusing. It makes no sense. Here we come across this room, which is supposedly used for surgery. I'm going to guess by the surgical tables, because if you talk to the scientists, it's basically what they say, but have you ever seen a surgery room that looks like this before? I just had a surgery within the last few days, and I don't think my surgery room looked like this. I remember a table, but I don't remember splitting blades of death. And I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and saying it went crazy like the scientist said it did, and that's why it's spinning, but even if it wasn't spinning, how would these blades even operate on somebody here? They only seem to spin all the way around the room. Somebody just like put up their arm and say, I just need this chopped off, and they chop off the arm? What kind of weird surgical suite is this? This makes no sense. Not to mention, it's a little dirty in here, which makes me believe this isn't necessarily a surgical center. Way too much blood and dirt. You're definitely going to be wanting to sue this place. 1 out of 5 stars from infections. Okay, so we made it to surface tension, and you reach this little fuel storage place. Again though, why is the fuel just randomly stored everywhere? This looks like terrible design. Somebody's smoking out here? This whole facility is gonna blow up. Again, who made this layout? For all the money Black Mesa had, they didn't plan this very well at all. Now we come to the dam, and might I say, this is the best part because this proves my theory that this is potatoes. Look at all this potato water they've stored up. Sure, it has some minerals in there, but maybe that just gives you natural nutrients for your body. Still, this is just an impressive amount of potato water. So, I'll give them credit for that. They do know what they're doing when it comes to alien potatoes. Now we come across a pretty famous canyon in the game. You come out here and this jet flies across this, but I have to say this is a really weird place to be. With all the money Black Mesa has to spend, this is the quality bridge you get? With only a few wood panels and some rope, no guard railings? Like, look at the size of this facility, and this is what you get for a bridge? And then you gotta walk along these cliffs. Again, no guard railing. I don't know why they just didn't build a better facility outside. Who designed this? Again, it makes no sense. And hopefully you don't have a fear of heights, because once you get over here, you have to climb this ladder all the way up, work your way up more ledges, climb up again, more ledges, all to make it to this vent. Are you telling me there wasn't a way to simply build a bridge from that vent to this vent? And on top of that, these are those weird human-sized vents again. So, why? All of this when you just could have had a simple bridge over here. I don't get it. Now, I know Gordon's strong and he's amazing in his HEV suit, but there is no way Gordon could actually take on this tank. Gordon is not impervious. These shells that fire out of this tank. I'm sorry. No, that's impossible. It's a tank. I have a suit on with flesh underneath. It makes no sense. And then, of course, you take on this rocket APC, which, again, Gordon would be dead. There's no way he'd survive this. No. Okay, here we come across this room in the middle of the desert. You have to go in and carefully avoid all these little laser traps they put up to booby trap the place. Which, first of all, why? Do you see the size of these rockets? If one of these guys accidentally set it off these traps, these soldiers, they would have detonated this whole facility and themselves. Not to mention, were they here when the head crabs were here? What if the head crabs set off one of these when they were placing down these mines? What is even the purpose of detonating this whole place? They're not really hiding anything too important in here. This just seems really dangerous and dumb on their part. I don't know how they didn't blow themselves up. Again, it makes no sense. Now here, you're supposed to shoot that door over there in the distance and blow it up to get through. But what if this thing didn't have any ammo? These containers are obviously sealed shut and have some kind of weird alien language. So I guess you probably would have been stuck here normally? Is this how people normally get through the base? They have to shoot the door every time they want to go in? This is weird. Now we come across a jump pad. Now, you and I know what these are because we played the game. But think about this in reality. If you were Gordon Freeman and you came across this, how would you even know what it does? What if you stepped on it and you just exploded? Or what if you stepped on it and it sent you like 3 miles into the sky, like a giant jump pad? There's no coming back from this in real life if you step on this. I am curious, when a lot of the aliens teleported here, did these jump pads just randomly appear in random areas too? I mean, I get some of this random alien stuff spawn, but thankfully these all just happen to appear in places where you needed them to be to jump from. Just saying, Gordon's lucky. So we're in the parking garage, and I have to say, this parking garage kinda, I don't understand. Is this parking? Are these even spots? What is this? Then you get over here. What is with this weird genital, nonetheless, shaped area? I mean, I get your car turns here, but these seem like really tight curves just to pull your car around. And like this spot, how do you back out? You're gonna hit this wall. Unless you back in and then you can pull out. And then you got this handicap spot. But what about this side? What if you have to get somebody out on this side? There's a pole in the way. And what about this spot? This one's not blacked out. I'm going to assume it's not a spot because there's a pole here, but you could probably fit a motorcycle there. That's a little unfair to motorcycle drivers. They could have parked there. And then you got this over here. I don't know why this is here. No parking. Well, obviously your car isn't going to fit there. And what is with this? I don't understand this no parking stuff here. Because don't you have to drive out? This parking garage was very poorly designed. It makes no sense. So you come to this part of the map, which everyone loves doing this, where you get to mess with the mortars. But how do you even get in here? If not for these alien jump pads, like card reader, no button to get in. I mean, aside from the alien being here, how else would you get in? Seems like, again, poor design. And I should note it says, Black Mesa Waste Processing Area 3. We're on to you, Black Mesa. We know this is a potato processing area. You can't fool us anymore. Non-sponsored segment where I simply point out I'm drinking tea from my Baby Yoda mug. Tea is good, especially after you have surgery. Now back to our regularly scheduled Half-Life program. And now here we are at the Lambda Core, going down to the complex, with another one of these really weird giant elevators. The amount of money they spent on this just to make sure it goes at an angle, you just could have had it gone straight down. I don't know why we needed this. I also don't know why there's a truck on the elevator. Like, apparently people drive downstairs. I don't know. Here we are in the cores, in the cooling systems, and I love the signs that say radiation hazard, despite the fact that there's human-shaped tunnels for you to swim through in these cores. Thank goodness I have this suit on, but how do we know this suit's even protecting me? I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure I would die even with the suit on, because I have no idea what this core is made out of. But I should be dead, I assume, being this close to it. And now we have this part, with all these little portals, but how do we actually know what these portals do? What if you stepped in one and you just got, like, blown up or disintegrated? And who even put these here? Like, who put these pads here? Did the accident cause these portals to open? And if so, then did these pads... Yeah, it's really confusing how any of this just magically appeared. I don't get it. Now we come to the big chamber that teleports you into Xen. Now, if I was Gordon, and I already knew what happened after the first giant chamber, I don't know if I'd really trust going into this one and having to jump into this portal like this doctor wants me to. I just seem to have a lot of good luck, because this whole room looks like just a giant place I'm gonna die at. And for all you know, when you open this portal, it just sucks in everything like a black hole instead of just being some portal that transports you. Okay, so we made it to Xen after jumping into the portal, but my question is, what if we jumped into the portal and it put us like 7 feet that direction? We would have just teleported and fallen to our death. We are awfully lucky. And we're also lucky to have that little jetpack that lets us jump, because even if we spawned on here and we didn't have that jetpack, the little jump pack, we wouldn't be able to get there, and then what? There's no portal back. So I guess we would just have to sit here forever? Unless we decide to jump down, but then we're gonna splat. And I'm not even sure how there's gravity, because all I see is that island. I don't know where the gravity's coming from, so again, we're just lucking out here. And might I add, this planet kinda looks like potatoes. Maybe Xen is just a giant potato, or at least chunks of potato in space. Could be. And you know, once you're down here on Xen, how do you know your suit could even keep you protected in whatever this environment is? What if this thing shocked us and we instantly died? What if this cute little ball thing that hides actually explodes and kills us? So many things that we luck out on with this magical HEV suit that protects us from all of this. Now, I do realize there have been other scientists here before, but still, I'm just saying. We've made it to Gonarch Slayer, and I gotta say, do you really think Gordon can take on a one-testicled spider-looking creature? I don't know how to defeat that thing. I know we're supposed to use rockets on it, but how do we actually know that it's gonna kill it? I mean, basically he has 4 spiked legs and a giant testicle that he whaps you with. I'm not really interested in fighting that in my little HEV suit. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna die. And eventually we make it to this spot, where apparently the aliens also have industrial complexes like we do. I mean, if they didn't, I guess apparently we wouldn't know where to go. But they have conveyor belts, they have like little elevators, and they got their own version of a scientist, I think. These guys are a little bit more cute though, so I don't know. But again, the layout of these facilities are kind of like Black Mesa's facility in that they make no sense. And one also has to wonder if these are what their alien potatoes look like beforehand. Because if you notice, they bake their potatoes here. This must be the pre-potato form that we're used to, what we see in Black Mesa's radiation pool, where they look like brown blobs. Thank goodness on Xen, they also happen to have human-sized little ventways for us to go through. Am I right? Apparently even aliens think of that kind of them. And now we make it to the Nilinth himself. Just No. I am dead. I don't care who you are. Look at this thing. Exactly. No. Mission over. Gordon came all this way and he's just going to die. That's the end of Half-Life right there. It makes no sense. Now, once you beat him, you come here where the G-Man offers you your choices, but might I add, you could technically just bum rush him, rush at him, grab him, and jump off the edge, right? Kill him and you, so you don't have to deal with any of these choices. Sure, he might be able to stop you because he's G-Man, but I still say there's a third option there if you really want it. And here we are on the tram at the very end where you have to make your decision, but I think this tram is also magically floating, like the ones inside Black Mesa when you first get into the building and start the game. So this may explain those trams. They're definitely magic. I said magnets before, but now I'm beginning to think magic because this tram is on nothing. Yes, I know it's supposed to be G-Man's tram just for effect of having to choose something, but you get my drift. And again, you could bum rush him right here, grab him, and go into this one with him. Which certainly would be easier. Or maybe just give him a bear hug until he makes you go to the end with all the aliens and they kill you. This way he gets killed too. I don't know, that's what I would do. See, he would be dead in this. And that, my friends, is the end of everything wrong with Half-Life. I enjoyed making that. Obviously, as you go on later in the levels, they become more complex, and it's a little bit harder to pick on everything because a lot of it's confusing at first. You could definitely spend hours just picking apart every single detail, but I was just going for the general stuff. A lot of people seem to like my first half of this video, so I'm hoping this half does good. And if you did like this, please let me know in the comments because maybe I will do Blue Shift and Opposing Force. I forgot which one comes first, but I'll do those, everything wrong with those, and then I'll move on to Half-Life 2, which may take longer to make because it's a more, relatively more modern game, so to speak. But yeah, if you like what you've seen here, like, comment, subscribe, especially because this series is new. It helps me know you want to see more of this. And I will see you guys hopefully in the next video. And by then, I'll probably still have my head crabs. So, not much I could do about that. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you later. This has been That Shy Guy Matt. Bye-bye.